Hey y'all, Dan here. If you watched my Flint Hills Trail, you'll recognize that this is Ottawa. This trail is part of one of the oldest north-south rails in the United States. It was established in 1860 and it was still an active railroad until 1990. And this 51-mile section is called the Prairie Spirit Trail. And the Prairie Spirit Trail will go from Ottawa, where we are now, down through 3 counties, 10 little communities, and to the town of Iola, Kansas. It's about mid-50s, and today the temperature will be going up to nearly 60 around noon, and then at noon the temperature starts to drop. And tonight we'll be getting down into the mid-20s. Tomorrow morning it'll be nice and brisk when I wake up. And the high tomorrow is supposed to be in the mid-40s. And then again, a cool night tomorrow night. And then it goes back up into the 50s. So for December weather, I'll take it. This is really going to be a great adventure to see. To get out here on the Prairie Spirit Trail. So come along and let's go walk it together. There's a hawk right in that tree. You know, I love these Midwest towns. These Kansas towns are so full of hospitality and really very interesting history. There was something about the pioneers that wanted to explore to the west and to endure the hardships. I mean, the weather here can be brutally cold in the winter, can be just excruciatingly hot in the summer. So they were establishing little lean-tos and mud huts to try to survive the winter and then to head back on to their journey west. The people that are generations to follow of those pioneers are also a hardy lot, and they continue to make beauty out of this place. It is beautiful, has so much to see, and I'm looking forward to seeing it and to sharing some of that with you. You may notice that my hat's different today. Well, we were at Elk Falls a couple of weeks ago and had lunch there, and I left my hat there in the senior center. So I have ordered another one and got to quit losing my hats. But until then, I'll wear this Project Wounded Warrior hat in honor of my fellow veterans. To all of you guys and gals, I salute you. Well, this is the 12th installment of Trails Less Traveled as I hike the 51 miles of the Prairie Spirit Trail. The morning sun starting to light up the prairie. It's 27 degrees right now, so it was a cool night. I think it got down to 24 about 4 o'clock this morning. That's where layering is important. I had my sleeping bag, which is good, to 17 degrees, but that's survival. It's comfortable at 27. Then when you put on your base layers and an extra pair of socks. And one thing that I don't talk about a whole lot is this fleece hoodie that I have. It's from Appalachian Gear. It's an alpaca wool, and it's one of my favorite pieces of gear. I just don't talk about it that much. But at night, when I get in the sleeping bag, I'll slip this on, pull the hood up over my head, and my ears are toasty. I am just very warm. And then during the day, I'll wear it. And the thing about it, it's not over hot, and yet it cuts the chill. And you know, like when I get to Garnett, I'll probably take the puffy off. It'll be warm enough then to do that, and then I'll hike the rest of the day, probably wearing my fleece. If it gets any higher than 44 or 45, then I'd come out of the fleece too. But just making good time. Coming up on the next road juncture right here. Seems fitting that the trail would bring you right by this little beautiful little red caboose from Santa Fe. Nicely done. All right, here's one of those nice little rest areas that is out here. They always put these trail guide information placards out here. We are coming up on Iola. This is the beginning of day 3, and I've got about 18 miles to go to get to Iola. Made good time yesterday. Plan to do that 18 today, get into Iola. I'm guessing around 5 o'clock. See how close I am to that. But another pretty morning. It was cold again last night. I woke up and there was condensation on the inside of my tent, but it was just a sheet of ice. I made it to Colony. Here's the Colony little station here, Colony Trailhead. They had water here, but unfortunately the water's locked up, so I can't get water. I don't know if there's a store in Colony or not. I doubt it, but if there is, I'll stop. Maybe get a cup of coffee. If not, next town is Carlisle. You go into Carlisle and then to Iola. It's cold. I think it's colder today than it was yesterday, and it was supposed to be warmer today. So you just never know what you're going to get out here. That's all right. I'm out here, and it's pretty. The clouds are just really neat. Look out through there. All right. And little berries are ripe. I don't know what kind these are. Probably won't try them. warmed up a little bit. Wind's still really blowing here on this little bridge, and the wind has slowed down, so I thought I'd say hi. 5 miles, about 5 miles away from Iola, coming up on Carlisle now, and be there soon. I saw a striped kitty back on the trail, about 2 miles back, and I called to it, and all it did was turn around and stick its tail out at me and stick its tail up in the air, so I thought I'd just leave it alone. But seriously, there was a skunk. It was about 15 yards in front of me, so I just stopped and gave it wide berth. It went off into the trail, left me alone. But I've seen, 2 bobcats this morning, deer, a lot of coyotes, heard them all through the night and all around my tent. And then, some rabbits and squirrels and the skunk. I think that pretty much gets everything that I've seen out on the trail. All right, well, let's make this last 5 miles. Carlisle trailhead. And there's a privy, and it's like a nice little parking lot. Town of Carlisle's back down that way. But I'm gonna keep going south.